There's no ill feelings on either side. And I'm not emotional. I'm not. I'm very calm. And when I call him, I'm like, yo, why don't you do this and this? We don't got to be like this. Bad enough, one day, my daughter's going to get older because my son is already grown. All of our other kids, I don't even know if they're my kids anymore because, all of our other kids, they're grown. They're the same age as your girl. They're the same age. DJ was born in 95, she was born in 96. So I know how to deal with people of this age. You understand? Like, I just like, damn, like, call me. Like, if you ever really want to have a hard time, I'm not even going to bash nobody. I'll tell you the truth. Somebody said, first of all, it's not about loving somebody, hating somebody, giving somebody clout because of you. Listen, I know what I needed to do. There was no way. It's my house because I paid for it. All 1 million, 0.3, whatever it was, I paid in cash. Listen, I know what people care about. That man, he cares about what y'all think. I don't care about what y'all think. Like, unfortunately, not trying to be funny. I appreciate my fans and people that are actually my fans and that love me. You understand? But I don't care what people think.
Say this to people. I know people be in therapy, but it really does go hand in hand. God and therapy goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. It just doesn't work. And I've tried it both ways.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this is the combination.
It works.
Therapy and the Holy Ghost.
How often are you doing therapy? How many times a week?
A couple times a week. Yeah.
How long did it take you to find a therapist that you actually felt comfortable
I have
with?
a few.
Okay.
And so I want to include Tamar into this conversation about Black women hurting. And so what inspired this video is Remy Ma. And real quick, the lighting is not good. There's no sun out here. It's like 8 o'clock at night. So sorry about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Tamar and tie it together. So Remy Ma inspired this video. The situation that I'll describe shortly, you all may know what has happened with her speaking out, being very vocal about, just airing her grievances about her ex, Papoose, and displaying a great deal of hurt, in my opinion. And I don't know if anyone has captured it as that, or if anyone has directly said that is what this is. But I want to just tie in Tamar. And you all know that I've talked about Tamar on this channel. I have a few videos about her or that reference her. And, I'll just say I pay closer attention to women who are like more in my age group. So Tamar in her 40s, Remy Ma also in her 40s. These are women who are, to some extent, some of them maybe around my age. And so Tamar in particular, I have paid attention to, one, because I think she's extremely talented. There's something about her, as you guys know, I've talked about making videos where I feel connected to either the topic or the person. And every time Tamar comes up, almost every time, there is something not so great that's happening. And one of the things that she recently did was she fat shamed and body shamed Lonnie Love openly. This was on the Nene Leakes podcast, as you know, you all know that I do watch. And it was just so random. And this video is not about that. You can look that up. But I wanted to say that Tamar ended up doing some kind of interview with Lauren LaRosa from The Breakfast Club. And Lauren asked Tamar about her, being mean. Essentially, she was being a mean girl. And, Lauren wanted to know, why she was so mean and nasty and made comments about Lonnie, who is just out of the blue. Lonnie was not bothering her. She just decided to come out and be extremely mean for no reason, almost as if she, needed attention of some sort. And, Tamar gave a really weak apology. But what she said in this interview was that she has 3 different therapists. And I believe she also said that she goes to therapy 3 times a week or something like that. And maybe she didn't say the part about going 3 times a week, but she definitely has 3 different therapists. And when I heard her say that, I was like, that's great. She needs it, you know. And this is no shade. This really is not about shaming. I am in therapy. I have one therapist. I could actually see why somebody would need to see more than one, because sometimes you don't, if you're only seeing, you know, if your session is an hour a week, that may not be enough. But I want to highlight something important. The fact that she has 3 therapists, and she says she goes to her therapist for different things, all 3 of them. I think that's good, but it shows that she does have an awareness that she needs to work on some things. But the thing that keeps coming up is this sort of way in which she publicly tries to tear people down. And in Tamar's case, you know, Lonnie Love, she's talked about Vince, her ex, being a bad father. She's talked about pretty much every guy she's ever dated or been engaged to. She's, you know, slandered them openly in the media space for, and I'm not going to say for no reason. She might have her reasons, but it's just not, it's not a good look, and it doesn't help, right? And so one of the things we have to realize is that when we're seeing people, in this case, you guys know I talk about Black women, and this is not exclusive to Black women, what I'm getting ready to say, but when we're seeing people who can't help but openly disclose the intimate details of their ex's business, you know, their past relationships, pillow talk that was shared openly. And let me just put this in context, because I have a small community here, about 25,000 subscribers. I've had some very negative experiences with dating and men, to be honest. And I'm hoping I can retain a little bit of light here before the sun goes down. And like, I could, you know, be tempted to just use my platform to talk about all the people that hurt me and all the things, and just, but number one, even if I did that, maybe I would go viral. Maybe I would get my, you know, 15 minutes of fame, but then nobody would care, right? Because I'm a small YouTuber. Nobody even knows, you know, I never dated anybody famous, you know? So I want to highlight that. And to be clear, I would never do that, right? Even though nobody would really care. Like I said, maybe I get a little viral fame for, you know, whatever, a week, but like, I still would not try to, you know, disclose the details of whatever happened with my exes and things like that, no matter how I feel about it, even if, you know, whether I'm over it or not. And in my case, I'm over it. But I say all that to say this, you know, the fact that when you see people, women, in this case, Black women, exhibiting this type of behavior where they are going online and making videos, and not the video that I'm making, because obviously I'm making a video now, you know, maybe they had some past beef and issues and there was some unresolved things. And this stay with me, because this is leading to Remy Ma. But when you see that type of thing, what do you think? You know, I'm curious what your thoughts are. You know, because as humans, we're nosy, by, you know, many of us, and we want to know what the person is going to say. It's interesting. We're getting tea that we otherwise wouldn't get. But the truth is that it's incredibly demeaning and disrespectful. You know, it's unnecessary. We don't need to know those details. And the reason why I use myself as an example is because I can't even fathom, again, me, small YouTuber, nobody knows who my exes are. I would not even make a crazy video like what Remy Ma has made. But imagine being a celebrity. And not only do you, as a celebrity, have a platform of millions of people, but then being married to someone who also has a platform with millions of people, and then going online and disclosing intimate details of your past relationship, marriage, you know, pillow talk, issues that you've had. This is a major offense. And you can say, well, it's not an offense because we're not together anymore, so who cares? But what it actually exposes is that the person doing that is still very much caught up in the past. Said person is not healed. And the interesting thing about people who do this, they always say, well, I don't really care. And then they go on a whole rant about, you know, again, airing all their dirty laundry and all the dirty laundry of their ex. But the fact that they're making the video shows how much they do care. And it shows how much they're hurting.
Oh, everyone looks so much happier now. Girl, man, don't nobody fall in love faster than somebody with nowhere to stay. The I literally told him, every time your current come up says my name or does something that I feel is trying to attack me in any type of way, I'ma drag you. And I haven't even been dragging them. Bad enough, you got my daughter's mom out here looking crazy because you refuse to tell people, hey, me and Rem haven't even slept in the same bed since May 2022. You don't want to tell nobody that. You were so wrapped up in the whole black love thing. That was your thing. That was the only thing you had. And I realized that. And I respected that. You know what? I don't need to be out here telling people you ain't this and you ain't got this and you ain't doing this and you ain't that. Whoever gets you, they'll see.
And the reason why I brought up therapy, the therapy that Tamar is in, is because it goes to show how much help she needs. And yet, is it helping? And it's like, when I saw the video that Remy Ma made, I did not watch the whole thing. At some point, it was like I don't even want to hear this, what you're saying about Papoose. But like, it exposes how hurt she is, how much she actually does care, probably how much she perhaps may even want him back, even though she says she's moved on. And it also exposes how bad Remy Ma needs therapy, and perhaps she's in therapy. But I just want us to, I know I come on here and I say things like black women are hurting, and you guys are like, oh, you know, you're too soft on black women, or, you know, we're tired of hearing about them hurting. But I say it, and I keep saying it because it's true. And I talk about the invisible woman because these are examples of women who I would suspect actually feel invisible. And their way of being seen and getting noticed is making these videos to humiliate other people. And in the process, they are actually humiliating themselves, making themselves look bad, tearing down their brand, tearing down their credibility, you know. And if they could just be quiet, and, you know, because people who don't say anything oftentimes kind of win, right? Because they didn't say anything, so you can't hold any information over their head. You can't, like, the more you talk about your own personal stuff, the more you give people to use against you. So if you know, so which is why I wish Papoose would have just remained silent. But of course he ended up, you know, defending himself. And so I don't want this part to be too long because I'm supposed to be pairing this with another video that I already filmed. I wanted to pop in with this because I feel like I didn't make my point with that one. Then at some point you're like, just remove me. Don't even remove me from the group chat. Just delete the group chat altogether. Just delete it. Because we don't need to be privy to all these things. It doesn't help. It only makes her look hurt, as I'm sure she is, and perhaps Papoose is too, even though he's dating Clarissa Shields. I believe there's a part of him that's hurt because I believe, perhaps if he wasn't, maybe he wouldn't have made the video that he made defending himself. If he didn't care, he would just, shrug it off. I don't know. But there's a lot of hurt in the Black community. And yes, this extends to online. This extends to celebrities. This extends to influencers like Kaya, Cooking with Kaya. The last person I want to mention is Halle Bailey. I believe I'm saying that right. Is it Halle or Haley Bailey? I started this video by saying I make videos about people that I'm connected to. I'm extremely connected to the Halle Bailey story. Extremely connected to it. And I won't go into any gruesome details, but as some of you know, I was a single mom for a very long time prior to getting married. And a lot of what Halle or Haley Bailey is experiencing, I experienced as a single mom. And although I did not, I was not in relationship with a DDG, so to speak, very similar dynamics in terms of having to go to court, having to deal with the court system very early when you are supposed to be in your feminine, nurturing your child and having to deal with the drama, all the things. And this is not about blame. Here's what I want to say. Here's my take on what's going on with Halle Bailey. And I feel there's a part of me that does feel for her, but then there's also a part of me that there's a part of me that wants to tell her that she needs to stay in therapy. Something I didn't do until recently, but she's probably going to need to be in therapy until her son is 18. Okay. And essentially they both should be in therapy. I know everybody wants to blame DDG. Other people want to blame Halle Bailey. Here's what I can say is that I don't fault either of them, or I fault both of them. I think they're equally responsible because, for example, in my case, I can't blame the other party because the other party showed me quite a bit before a child came into the picture. And so whether I chose to see it or not, it was there. And so this is not to say, I think a lot of times women feel like, well, when they get pregnant, he needs to step up and do different things and be different. And that would be great, ideally. But most people are going to keep being who they already were. Most people are not going to become a new person. Now, some people might allow, a child coming into their life to change, but a lot of people are going to keep being the way they were. And in many cases, people already show you who they are and they reveal that. And often as people, we choose not to see it. And so now my take on this is that Halle Bailey is experiencing who DDG already was. I don't think that he's changed, but I think she's changed because now she's a mom. And now, of course, he's a dad, but her expectations have probably changed. And he can't meet her expectations. He never could, but she didn't see it. And love can do that. Love can blind us. Love can hypnotize us, and all the endorphins and all the science behind it. But I hope, as I'm going to be talking more here on this channel about therapy, my hope is that she gets therapy and that he gets therapy. Stay tuned for more episodes of Conversations with a Black Man. Stay tuned for the Curated Legacy podcast. I'll be going deeper into lots of things in the next episode of the Curated Legacy podcast. like, share, and subscribe. Click the links in the description box and get to know what I do with my media business, Curated Legacy LLC.